The lineage of the Kong family can be traced back for thousands of years. The ancestors of the family were beings who descended directly from the heavenly realms. After a few generations, one of the Kong family members, known as Yapanke, subdued the Rakshas, and subsequently the family received the name Kun. In 1073 AD, a member of the Kun family and renowned master called Kun Konchok Gyalpo established the glorious Sakya school. Since that time, successive generations of the Kun family have continued in an unbroken lineage. Many famous and great masters have appeared in this illustrious Kun lineage, including the 5 great founders of the Sakyapa order, the great Sachen Kongang Nimpo, Lopon Rinpoche Sonam Chemo, Jetsun Rinpoche Drakpa Gyaltsen, Choje Sakya Pandita, and Drogon Chogyal Phagpa. These masters were all emanations of Arya Manjushri, the manifestation of all the Buddha's wisdom, Avalokiteshvara, the manifestation of all the Buddha's compassion, and Vajrapani, the manifestation of all the Buddha's power. Sakya Monastery was built in Sakya, about 100 miles north of the border between Tibet and Nepal. The region is unique for its grey earth, hence the name Sakya. From 1073 until 1959, this monastery served as the seat of the Sakya order and of the Sakya Trizins, who are the spiritual leaders of the order. Sakya Monastery was built at an auspicious location prophesied by the great Indian master Athesha, who foresaw that emanations of Mahakala, Manjushri, Vajrapani and Avalokiteshvara would take birth at this place and perform great activities for the benefit of the Dharma and all beings. In 1268, Chogyal Phagpa, the 5th of the 5 founders of the Shakya order, greatly expanded the monastery, and over the centuries it has grown into a complex of hundreds of temples, shrines and monastic residences. The buildings contain thousands of statues, paintings, murals, stupas and other holy objects. There are also libraries of scriptures in Tibetan, Chinese, Mongolian and Sanskrit piled from floor to ceiling. Among the holy objects in the monastery are the life-size statue of Manjushri, who spoke to Sakya Pandita to assist him during a famous debate, and the conch shell blown by the Buddha's disciples to summon monks to his teachings. Sakya Monastery became a citadel of learning and the fountainhead from which the 10 major and minor sciences were introduced to Tibet from India.
So actually the Sakya school is founded and established and flourished by the Kun lineage. And the Kun lineage were originally believed to be the direct descendants of the celestial beings. Since then, there have been very great Buddhist practitioners for many generations, and they were all Nyingmapas. And then after many generations, they felt that the time has come now to start a separate order. So in the year 1073, by the Konchok Gyalpo established the first Sakya monastery. And since then, the Sakya order was formed. Actually, Sachen Kongang Nimpo is the son of the Konchok Gyalpo, who first founded the Sakya order. And Sachen Kongang Nimpo is a true emanation of Manjushri as well as Avalokiteshvara. So during his time, that he was very great master, and especially the teachings on the Lamde, which is called actually path, including its result. And since then his two sons, Sonam Tsemo and Jizun Chakpa Gyaltsen were his sons, and they were also very great practitioners, and they have composed many books, and also they spread Dharma and they practice, and they have really spread the Buddha Dharma. And then their nephew, Jizun Chakpa Gyaltsen's nephew, is Sakya Pandita, and so Sakya Pandita was the first Tibetan to receive the Pandita's name, and he was the one who brought the Buddha Dharma, Vajrayana teachings to China and Mongolia. And then his nephew, the Donggon Shögyal Pagpa, also did the same thing, and in fact he was the one who invented the Mongolian scripts, and then spread the Buddha Dharma throughout many countries. And he is the first Tibetan Lama to rule the country. And during his time, that actually he managed, because after the death of the last king, then Tibet was actually scattered around. But during the Donggon Shögyal Pagpa's time, that he managed to all Tibetans are united under one governing.
At that time, the Tibetan Empire was fragmented. Then came a period of Mongol conquest. In 1240, Genghis Khan's grandson Godan Khan ordered a new invasion, sending a Mongolian general and 30,000 troops into Tibet. In time, Tibet was absorbed into the Mongolian Empire, and the abbot of Sakya was summoned to the court of Godan Khan to be his spiritual advisor and representative of central Tibet. This abbot was Sakya Pandita Kunga Gyaltsen, one of the 5 venerable supreme masters. Sakya Pandita also instructed Godan Khan in the teachings of the Buddha, and even prevented the drowning of a large number of Chinese in the rivers. Sakya Pandita convinced Godan that it was against Buddha's doctrine to kill. Sakya Pandita remained in Godan's court for several years, during which he gave many religious instructions to the prince and his followers. In return, Prince Godan invested Sakya Pandita with the temporal authority over parts of central Tibet as a tribute and offering for the teachings he received. For the Tibetans, he sent a book he had written called Tukpai Gonsal. It means the Buddhist intent. Knowing he did not have long to live, he left his book as a legacy to this country. Sakya Pandita spent the rest of his life among the Mongolians, never returning to Sakya. In 1252, the last of the venerable supreme masters, Drobon Chogyal Pagpa, took over Sakya Pandita's position at the Mongol court. By now, another grandson of Genghis Khan was gaining prominence among the Mongolians, Kublai Khan. Kublai became interested in Buddhism and received empowerments and teachings from Chogyal Pagpa. This linked the two men as disciple and guru, an unbreakable relationship in Tibetan Buddhism. In time, Kublai Khan would rule much of Asia, including China. Through his influence, Pagpa, with a small army, returned to Tibet as state preceptor. Pagpa and the Sakyas became the highest political and spiritual authority in much of Tibet, and the Sakya school ruled Tibet on behalf of the Mongols for about a century. It is said that the Lama-patron relationship between the Mongol Khan and the Tibetan Lama was like the sun and the moon in the sky.
Because the Mongols were very powerful, actually at that time they conquered almost half the world, but at the same time they are kind of very wrathful. But then the Donggon Shögyal, Sakya Pandita and Donggon Shögyal Pagpa gave the Buddhist teachings so that they've been tamed and they become also practicing the Buddha Dharma and following the peaceful way of life.
His Holiness Sakya Trizin was born in Chedong near Sigatse, south of Tibet, on the first of the 8th Tibetan month. Sakya Trizin means the throne holder of Sakya. Initially given the name Ayu Vajra, His Holiness was only later given his actual name of Ngawang Kunga Tekshen Palwar Tinle Sampai Wangai Kyalpo, when his father Vajradhara Ngawang Kunga Rinchen gave him his first major initiation. This initiation was the 9 deities of Amitayus Buddha. His Holiness was only 4 years old when he received major initiation on the peaceful and wrathful aspects of Vajrakilaya and many other profound teachings from his father. His formal studies started at the age of 5, although even before that he had received several empowerments from his father. In fact, he received his first empowerments, the one of lifelong, as soon as he was born. In the course of intensive studies at Sakya Ngor, Lhasa, and later in India, he received all the major transmissions of the Sakya lineage, such as Exoteric Lamdre, or the path containing its results. This is a collection of tantric empowerments and practices, the Vajrayogini instructions, and so forth. He memorized many texts like the He Vajra Tantra, performed many retreats, and gave numerous empowerments. He also received many teachings from the other traditions of Tibetan Buddhism. His main gurus were the Ngor abbots Ngawang Lodro Simpen Ningpo, Kangshar Sabdrung, the Venerable Jamyang Khenche Choki Lodro, Pende Khimpo, including his own father and also his 2 gurus, Dejung Rinpoche and late Sakya Trizin Rinpoche. In the year 1951, His Holiness made a pilgrimage to Lhasa, where he was designated the throne holder of the Sakya order by His Holiness the 14th Dalai Lama. Accordingly, the following year, a preliminary enthronement ceremony was held in which he accepted the official Sakya seat. Even at this early age, he was exceptionally intelligent and skilled in fulfilling his responsibilities. In 1953, in response to his root guru's expressed intention to enter into Mahaparinirvana, His Holiness performed his first long-life initiation of Amitayus at Ngor Monastery, and also undertook his first He Vajra meditation retreat in Sakya. Following the Chinese invasion of Tibet in 1959, His Holiness moved to India. He first stayed in Sikkim, where he started to learn English.